They do, they scattered us among these other nations. That's why it's read to you, there's Israelites everywhere, okay? And they what? They took our land. You understand that? So there's no mixed messages here. It's the Israelites are going to be delivered, and the rest of the nations are going to go into slavery under us. And the story. And it says, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Speaking about the Ishmaelites and the Hamites, which are the so-called Africans of East and Central, which are Hamites. Us, we're totally different people. And you can see it, right? The Ethiopian is not the same as us. They're the ones who sold the Israelites, okay? That's why they had Fort Judah, Fort Benjamin on the west coast of Africa. You think they just like the name Benjamin and Judah? No, we're Israelites, man, okay? And it says, will ye render me a recompense? Are you going to pay me back for what you did? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head, which means he's going to reject it. You understand? And it says, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. The children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians. They sold us to the so-called white man, the Edomites. You understand? So that's what it's speaking about, specifically speaking about us being sold to the Edomites. This is a transatlantic slave trade. This is what it's speaking about, okay? There was no people that was gathered together, put on ships, and sold to another people, except for this time. And this was the judgment of the Lord upon us. And it's going to be returned, and those people are going to get paid back for that. You see what I'm saying? All right? And that's all Edomites. I don't care what, I don't care, I'm a good Edomite. No, that's bullshit. All you Edomites are going into slavery, okay? Because the scripture says that their spirit is not right. All right, not talking about your skill, it's about your spirit is not right. It says, the children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have been sold into the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border, which is Israel. They took us from the eastern hemisphere, which was the west coast of Africa and Portugal, and because the first slaves came from Portugal and Spain, okay, and then they brought us where? To the western hemisphere, which is further from the land of Israel, further from our border, okay? Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And this is an example. All these Israelites you see out here doing what I'm doing, this is an example of the Lord raising us up out of this place where we were sold, okay? You see what I'm saying? So this is an example we're seeing right now is this prophecy in front of your face, okay? The Israelites being raised up, okay? And it says, and I will return your recompense upon your own head, and I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah. And they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people afar off, for the Lord has spoken. Not I didn't speak it. Sarah didn't speak it. The Lord spoke it. You get where I'm going with that? So there has to be a judgment. What people are taught is some fairy tale, some bubble gum, and that's not what the Bible speaks about. You know the Lord flooded the whole earth and left 8 people alive? You know that? You think the Lord's coming to hand out candies, man? He's coming to bring vengeance. And the main people that are going to get the worst vengeance is the nation of Edom. And the story, okay? So that's what I'm trying to explain.
But what kind of vengeance?
The vengeance where they're going to go into slavery under us. That's the vengeance. And we're going to do worse than what they did to us. That's the vengeance.
I asked you a question, but I'm trying to ask in front of the camera.
Go ahead. You're not on the camera. Go ahead.
I'm trying to say what I want to say.
But you're not on the camera. Your face is not there.
Okay. Nah.
Go ahead, man. Ask what you have to ask. What is it? What are you asking?
It's like I had a really bad experience.
With what?
With some people who forced me to do things I didn't want to do for a long extended period of time.
That what? That what for a long period of time?
No, that's what I don't want to say it on the camera.
Wait, they don't even know.
Wait, can I go? Where's the thing? Can I go like this?
No, don't touch it. Don't touch it. It's not on you. Look, it's not. It's on me. Look.
It's like
Look, I'll even put it here. Look.
Okay.
Okay, what are you saying?
It's like I had an experience where I had to do things that I didn't want to do for a long period of time.
Rape, sex trafficking type of thing?
No, I don't want to talk about the details of it.
Okay.
But all I'm saying, what does that even mean? What does that mean? Does that mean that I'm suffering the vengeance?
Sure. There's judgment. That's judgment. That's not necessarily the vengeance of the Edom. That's not the vengeance of the Edomites. Because the Edomites are about to get their vengeance real soon. That's just a vengeance for you personally, man. All right?
For
Because
what?
we all have done things. We've all done.
No, but I was
negative
really young.
things.
I was really young.
Doesn't matter, because guess what? There's reincarnation in the Bible. You know that, right? There's reincarnation. You know that you come back. That's why they're able to get judged. That's why it said, prepare slaughter for his children, because guess what? They are their fathers. This was actually them. When you look at this, right? See the Native Americans gave them smallpox. These Edomites you see walking around, that was them today.
Yeah, that's fucking
That's them. But now they have a different kind of, now they're covert with it. That's all. That was just covert, and they can't do what they used to do. Because the Most High, basically he said that he would lighten the burden on us. That's all it was. That's why it's not gonna stay the same like this or like this. For fucking 500 years, it's not gonna stay like this for forever. You understand? They're not gonna be able to just lynch and do all this. Look, this is a little kid. Look at his face, man. They tortured him. They put beeswax on his face and made honey on his face and made the bees sting him up. Look at his face, man. You think that he's not gonna get judgment for that?
I hope I'm not part of that. I don't think
You
I'm
better not. You won't. I don't think you are though. Me personally,
That scares
I'm looking
me.
at you. I don't think you are. But this is what's gonna happen.
I don't feel like I am.
Yeah, I don't feel like you are
in my
either.
heart that I know
I don't feel like you are. You don't know the Lord though. But I don't feel like you're.
Like, I've had really special
All right.
experiences.
All right. You
And,
can
like,
say that. But you can say that. But you know what it is? You can have a connection, somewhat of a connection to the Most High, but that doesn't mean you know the Lord. Okay? Because all of our people have a connection to the Lord one way or another. Most people in the church is these people, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. We're the most in the church. The majority of these Edomites,
And what do you
they
think-
say they're atheists, man.
What do you think about praying to, let's say you gave him the right name of, what did you call Jesus again?
His name is Yahushua.
Yahweh. What do you think about praying to him? We're just supposed to pray to the Most High. I'm shy to pray to him.
No, you're supposed to pray to him to get to the Most High. You're supposed to pray. You're supposed to pray to the Most High through him. He's the mediator.
What
you can't
if you
just go to
pray
the Most High.
directly to the Most High? Is it
Yeah,
disrespectful?
of course it's disrespectful. You're not supposed to go to the Most High. None of us are supposed to go to the Most High. That's why Yahweh Shai is actually, right? Because he brought us. Without Yahweh Shai, we would have nothing.
Yeah,
The
he
Israelites
brought us
wouldn't be able to even get salvation. You see, because the Most High, what he did was he casted the Israelites off.
So there's some Israelites who will not have salvation?
All right. There's going to be majority of Israelites that are not going to have salvation, which is going to be like 2/3. Okay? Right? 2/3, the majority, 2/3 are not going to get it, but 1/3 is going to make it to the kingdom. You see what I'm saying? They're going to make it, and that's when the kingdom of heaven is going to be. When you hear a revelation, I'm sure you heard of New Jerusalem coming down from heaven. I'm sure you heard about that, right? Have you heard that verse before? Have you heard someone say that or quote that?
Yeah.
New Jerusalem coming from heaven? That's speaking about the Israelites, the elect of the Israelites, the chosen, coming from the ships, the chariots, right? When you see, if you go on the internet, you type in like the UFO sightings, and you see those lights in the sky, those are angels in those things. That's the chariots of the Lord. Okay, I've seen one of those things already, years ago. Okay, and brothers all around the world doing what I'm doing, they see it constantly when they preach and stuff like that. Okay, they make videos, they camera it, it gets bigger, it gets smaller, and people be, oh my God, what is that? But when you look at the reports, the military already documented that. Those are the chariots of the Lord. Now they're starting to document in war. They see that all the time in the military. Okay, because the angels are working on the minds of those people for the World War III. All right, but the whole point is this: that's when the elect is going to be beamed up in one of those things. Okay, and what's going to happen is they're going to come down after a period of time when the smoke clears, after the nuclear fire, after the nuclear war. All right, so that's what's going to happen. So if you're not on the good side of the Lord, you're going to get caught up in that. There's going to be a time, and if you're a woman, it's going to be even worse for you, man. All right, there's going to be raping going on. There's going to be lawlessness out here, bro. Okay, they ain't just going to be raped by one man. They're going to be gangbanging and shit. All right, it's not going to be no joke out here. You're going to be killing this, that, eating people. Cannibalism's
They're
coming
gonna
back.
be eating people. This I already know about. I feel it. Like,
But
cause
that's
sometimes I
coming.
get these
But that's
messages,
coming.
and I'm like, yo, you know Katy Perry, all that.
Oh yeah,
Cannibals.
I made a video. You probably seen my video. My video has a lot of views on
I
that.
haven't seen no videos. I don't go on the internet.
Yeah, I made a video about her that got like a lot of views on that. But yeah, Katy
You
Perry.
talked about the cannibalism?
Yeah, I got like.
Ah shit!
I
I'm
got-
not the only one. I told you, I felt it.
I
Like
got
I
like-
saw
that was
her face,
that was years ago. I spoke about that though.
but I saw her face. I was like, something's wrong.
But all they do, all of them do that. All of them,
all of them, 'cause
Hollywood.
it's like the elite meat. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? They're
It's
all
not,
fucked
it's
up
not even that.
bitches.
She's just a low level, but at the same time, that's what the elites want them to do. That's Satanism, right?
Yeah,
just like
blasphemy.
the Most High needs a sacrifice. Satan needs a sacrifice. You see what I'm saying to you? It's the left hand power, left hand energy, the wickedness, the wicked side of the spectrum. We're on the right side. That's what I'm trying to show you. People worship so-called Jesus on the left hand. They worship another Jesus. We worship the true power, the Yahushua.
Well, that's why I'm really careful when I go to my church, because I don't feel like they pray into the same guy as me.
They're not. They're not playing to the same guy as me. You right now, you're learning about. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
But I'm not learning because I have my own connection with the Lord.
Well, okay. So if you don't think that you're learning, then that's on you. I can't
No,
tell
but
you
you're
anything
telling
more
me
than that.
interesting information, but I'm not gonna say that my connection with the Lord becomes stronger because of our conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like I already have my own connection with the Lord.
Well, you know what that is? That's pride.
But no, it's not pride.
No, of course that's
It's
pride.
not pride.
That's what that is. Because at
It's
the end of the
truth.
day,
I'm not gonna lie.
at the end of the day,
I'm not gonna pretend
I'm
like.
showing you the truth of the Bible.
No, you're telling me things that I didn't know, but you're not
Within the
making.
Bible.
But like, my heart is already abandoned to the Lord. Do you understand? So it's like
That's cool.
you
That's
could give
cool.
me more
That's
reasons
cool.
to abandon it, but it's already given. You know what I'm saying? Like I
That's-
make a lot
that's
of
cool.
progress in my life and like try my best to stay away from sin. You know what I'm saying?
That's cool. What's sin according to the Bible?
Well, like I don't know, I treat people right.
No. What
I don't
is?
let people
Do you
take
know what
advantage.
sin is
I
according
don't
to the
take
Bible?
advantage of anyone. What is?
Do you know what it is?
What is it?
Yes or no answer. Because you think you know you have
Well,
have
it's
it already.
complicated because
It's not complicated. It's very simple. It's very
There's the
simple.
7 moral sins.
That's not in the Bible. There's no 7 moral sins in the Bible.
There is.
No, that's some man-made stuff, right?
Well, there's the 10 Commandments, but I don't know exactly like.
Okay, but what is sin? That's what I'm asking. What is sin? It's in one sentence. You don't need more than one sentence to say what sin is.
Sin is just wrong. You can
And
feel
guess
it's
what?
wrong.
And let me tell you something. Guess what? While the cameras, let me tell you something. Guess what? All these Christians that come up here, the mass majority of them, they don't know what sin is. If I ask them that question, we ask them that question, they don't know. Why? Because the Lord is not dealing with them. And the scripture says, he that speaketh not according to this word, it is because there is no light in him. Okay? So that's what I'm trying to explain to you. We have the light. The Lord blessed us with the light. We can break down the scriptures. These people can't. You can't. You don't even know what sin is. But you're telling me, you know, yo, I'm good. I got it. Okay, so you got it. I'm not going to argue with you about
But
it.
I try. I'm not saying
You
I
try
got
it,
it.
but you don't got it. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. I'm not saying you don't try, but I'm saying you don't got it. This is what sin is. This is 1 John 3 and verse 4. It says, whosoever committeth sin also transgresseth the law. For sin is the transgression of the law. So sin is the transgression of the law, the breaking of the law. Okay? For example, you're breaking the law right now. You got pants on. You're a female, right?
But the time that
That's
Jesus
breaking of
pants
the law.
didn't exist.
What?
Pants didn't exist when Jesus was there.
Not for women.
They didn't exist at all.
Yeah, there was
No,
people.
men were wearing
There was maybe not back then. Maybe not back then.
Exactly. It's only until like the 1800s that it started
Yeah,
to be associated with men.
it came before that. It came like even in the medieval time they were wearing pants, some form of pants and shit like that. But regardless, that's a man's attire. That's why you have a zipper there. All right. So it's a man's attire. Don't matter if it comes later or not. Right? Like Mulan. She was transgressing the law. Okay. They try to make it cute. Oh, she was being a warrior. She was transgressing the law. Really. See what I'm saying? So there's a woman attire, which is what? Which is a dress, right? And that's it. You feel what I'm saying? And you have other men, like you just seen before, that demon that came up.
Yeah.
He was dressed up like a woman.
No, but he
that's
is a
against
demon.
that's against the scriptures. Oh, he clearly has demons. I'm not gonna
You know what he
talk
said to me that
guy.
time? He took his voice really deep and he started making a weird demon voice. And he was
Oh,
talking.
well, he's a demon. That's why
He's a fucking
that's
demon.
why he's trying to push that. Oh, God doesn't exist. Well, that's cool. You know,
He's a demon.
but that's because he's a demon. But at the end of the day, that's the facts of the matter. Sin is a transgression of the law.
But can I tell you why I wear pants? Because I went for a whole year just wearing this Catholic stuff and this Christian stuff because I was trying to be part of these church. I was trying to understand somebody who knew the same Lord that I do. And every time I go into a group, I see that they don't. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I wear pants is because, like, I don't know, that's all the clothes I have.
But
Like, all my long skirts, it's like...
But at the end of the day, what does the scripture say? Not matter what you think about what they didn't do and what they didn't do. You're accountable for you, okay? And that's an easy thing, right? That's an easy thing. That's
Well,
nothing.
it's not really easy because
That's super easy.
it's cold.
So
The